Today you're going to be doing a mystery activity about Otzi the Iceman. So if you're on plan book, you want to make sure you scroll on down to 6th grade. Scroll to the remote learning, and then you can click here to open it up on Teams. When you do that, it'll pull it up. You'll need to select your social studies class, and then scroll to Otzi the Iceman and click on that. It'll then pull up your assignment here. You can see number 1 says to open the Otzi the Iceman activity sheet attached below. And then you're going to read the attention grabber that's on page 1. And then it will show you a list of items that you found at the scene. And you're going to label pictures using those items. The number 4 tells you you're going to answer questions 1 through 4 on page 5, but you don't need to answer question number 5. Then you'll go to page 6 and answer questions 1 through 5. And then you're going to write a conclusion on page 7. So let's take a look. So you click on the PowerPoint and it'll pull up. And then if you remember, edit presentation, edit in browser. That way you can see what you're doing. Once it pulls up, then you'll get that first page will be that attention grabber that you need to read. And I'm going to read that through that for you. So if you need to, we're going to go ahead and we'll zoom in. The attention grabber says, on a trip to Italy, you and your friends decide to take a few days to hike in the Alps. You have a map to guide you through parts of the Otzi Alps. You are hoping to see the remains of a glacier that has been melting during the past 70 years. You dress warmly, pack your backpack with snacks, and head out for the summit, or the top of the mountain. After hiking along the trail that many others had traveled that day, you and your friends decide to go another way, just for the sake of exploration. As you walk along, you see something protruding from the ice, something sticking out. At first, you think it is a doll that someone left behind. It doesn't have any hair. You walk closer and see that it is not a doll at all, but a human body. You've just completed your first year of medical school, so you know a dead body when you see one up close. But instead of having waxy skin like most corpses, the body looks yellow and feels leathery, almost like a mummy. It does not have any clothes on either. It's obvious to your friends that he froze to death. You wonder how long this person has been here. Maybe he was a hiker who lost his way just recently. You take a closer look and see a hole in the back of the person's head. An eerie feeling settles over you as you wonder if the man could have been murdered. You and your friends try to dig him out of the ice with your ski poles. One of your friends finds a large stick in the ice and begins to dig with it. Then you discover an axe in the ice. Your other degree in archaeology tells you that this is no ordinary axe. It is made from some sort of metal. You and your friends believe that the axe might be the key to finding out when this person lived. Suddenly, you see what looks like to be a tiny dagger made from flint with a wooden handle. There's also something that looks to be a fanny pack with a few items still inside. You take out your digital camera and take pictures of these items for later reference. Just in time, too. The authorities have arrived to take all this away to the medical laboratory for tests. You decide to give this person a name. You and your friends agree that he should be named Otzi, in honor of the mountain where he was found. You wonder, as they take away his body, how did this man die? It is a question that will haunt you for months, and you must find out. So now we're going to scroll to this next page, and this is a list of the items that were found at the scene. So we're going to read through that list. I'm going to zoom in so we can see it. So the first list is bits of fur, leather, fur, and fiber. We also found at the scene a cap, type of hat, a shoe, one bow that is not finished, one quiver with 2 finished arrows and 12 not finished. A quiver is what holds the arrows. One axe with a copper blade, one wooden backpack frame, 2 birch bark containers, one flint dagger inside of a woven scabbard, which is the holder for a knife, for a dagger, a pouch worn around the waist containing 2 pieces of flint, one 4-inch long wooden stick that looked like a fat pencil with a tip made from a deer antler, grass string, and a needle from bone, one leather tassel with a marble bead, bits of fiber that resemble a net, berries and pieces of antelope meat, and finally, mushrooms threaded onto a leather strip. You're now going to use that list to label the next 2 pages. You can see that there's different items and text boxes that you're going to put in there. So we'll take a look at this first one. So you'll look and see, which item does this look like was on the list? Now you won't use every item from this list, but you're going to look at this list and decide which picture it is. And after you label the pictures, then you'll come to page 5. So we just read the attention grabber. And now we're going to answer the questions. What mountains were you hiking in? So what was the name of the mountains that we were hiking in that we read about? Number 2, in the space below, describe what the body looked like. What did what we read say the body looked like? Number 3, in the space below, what are some of the items you discovered near the body? So some of those items that were on that list, what did we find near the body? What did we decide to name the person according to the reading? You know, what was the nickname they came up with? And then number 5, you do not need to draw. It would be very difficult to do that on PowerPoint, so don't worry about doing number 5. And then we're going to go to page number 6. So looking at the pictures of what was found at the scene and reading through the items found, you're going to answer the following questions based on that. So number 1 says, in the space below, do you think that the Iceman was at one point dressed appropriately for cold weather of the mountain before he died? Do you think he was dressed appropriately? Do you think at one point in time he was dressed for cold weather? How do you know? So using that items found list, how do you know that he might have been dressed for the weather or was not dressed for the weather? Number 2, a bow, arrows, axe, and dagger were also found. Why do you suppose he had these items? Why do you think he had a bow, arrows, axe, and dagger? And then we're going to look at number 3. It says, what sort of diet did the Iceman probably have? So again, using that items found list, figure out, what did he maybe eat? What did he usually eat? Number 4, do you think the Iceman was used to being outdoors? Do you think he was outdoors quite often? Why or why not? Why do you think that? Or why do you not think that? Number 5, about how long ago do you think the Iceman lived and died? So how long ago do you think he was alive and died? Why do you think that? And then finally, you come to page 7. So now we're going to come up with a conclusion. How do you think the Iceman died? How do you think he died? You're going to use all the evidence to support what you believe. There are many possibilities based on what we read in the attention grabber, and what we have seen and found at the scene of the death. I want you to be creative. Come up with what happened. Come up with a creative way of what happened, why he was out there, what happened to him to make him die. And you're going to click in here and type your answer in there. When you finish, remember, it always automatically saves. And then you click close, and then you'll click turn it in. If you have any questions about filling out this activity, message me in Remind, send me a chat on Teams, or send me an email.